Sarah Nasson, the Executive Director of Forum on Climate Change and the coordinator of Designated National Platform of Action in Tanzania. Today, 10th September, marks the final day of the Second Africa Climate Summit. And last week, I promised to share key insights and emerging issues from various side event discussion. And so today I attended a side event titled Preparing Historical Harms Through Climate Finance. And the event was organized by PACCHA with other partners. The discussion in this event focused on reframing narratives around reparations, debt justice, equitable financial flows, a just transition that centers Africa's rights and sovereignty as pathways towards equitable climate action. And when we talk about historical harms, we mean all forms of colonial exploitation and oppressive systems. The leaders of these harms continues to influence Africa's political, social, and economic landscape today. Developed countries continue to build their economies using our resources today in the name of loans. In this era of climate crisis, they have introduced another form of colonialism through provision of land support, mitigation adaptation projects, conservation, disaster management. They're giving us loans instead of grants, all in the name of climate finance, especially in the energy sector, blue economy, water and agriculture. During the discussion at the event I attended, one of the speakers said that we are what we are not just because we wanted to be, but because of historical injustices. And we cannot pay the debt of our revolution using the same system that created them. The global north is supposed to pay for the harm it caused to the African continent. It's about justice, not generosity. Africa needs justice, not sympathy. Interesting. It is undeniable truth that we still live with the pain caused by the legacy of colonialism. Africa is viewed as the continent of beggars, a continent of people with poor reasoning. And this perception will never disappear until those entrusted with managing the continent's resources start to plan, decide, and work in favor of Africa's interests. Article 3 of the Paris Agreement clearly clarifies the issue of fairness and equity in global climate action, encouraging all parties to contribute according to their abilities while recognizing different circumstances. It emphasizes the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities and capabilities. This means while all countries share responsibilities to combat climate change, the obligations differ based on the historical contributions to the program, economic capacities, and development levels. In other words, I can say the polluters must take responsibility, developed nations must lead in reducing emissions and providing support to developing countries, acknowledging their greater historical responsibility and resources, their level of development and economic capacity. And global financial frameworks should be designed to favor. We need reparation frameworks and guidelines that are rooted in human rights principles. Because climate change is a human right issue, threatening the right to thrive and survive, clean and safe and healthy environment, food security, energy and water security, shelter. With all these challenges, I can say the development of African continent is highly depending on the loyalty of those entrusted to manage our resources. Their willingness to interpret solutions brought to Africa to assess them whether these solutions they really address African needs. Are they meant to safeguard our ecosystems? Are they meant to build resilience and provide sustainable solutions to climate challenges? When discussing about reframing narratives around reparations, debt justice, equitable financial flows, and the just transition that centers Africa rights and sovereignty. We cannot leave our national and regional decision and policymakers as well as the negotiators out of this. Non-state actors must invest heavily on issues related to accountability and take interest in policy and budget processes, as well as engaging or working closely with youth and women groups or platforms at the grassroots level, engaging them on issues related to social accountability. Needs of Africans should be addressed responsively to ensure just and equitable climate solutions. My message to negotiators, policy and decision makers at national and regional level: you're in a position to make impactful decisions that protect the rights and lives of African people. Open doors for projects and investments that safeguarded by the affairs and legal system. Promote initiatives that transforms the economies and lives of rural communities. Support local innovation. Encourage private sector investment in climate adaptation projects. Work on targeted tax incentives and facilitate access to domestic climate financing and technologies. Remember, it's about justice, not generosity. Africa needs justice, not sin.